1956, President Eisenhower brought the National Interstate and Defense Highway Act into law. And now 65 years later, November 15th, yesterday, 2021, President Joe Biden signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act into law. Connectivity for me as mayor of the city of Birmingham, Alabama, is our country, through the leadership of the White House, has always found a way to connect our country. That connectivity started at some point with our rail system. It then became an interstate system. Now there's an amazing opportunity from a broadband standpoint to connect America again, to make sure all Americans have access to broadband. I think the President made a note yesterday that no mother who has a child should have to sit in a parking lot of a fast food driveway just so their child can do their homework. That's unacceptable. That's un-American. I think signing this act into law gives us as a country another opportunity to show who we are, to connect our country once again, for the present, but more importantly, the future, just like the previous two acts did. But when you bring this package home, what does that mean for Birmingham? The infrastructure package is a game changer for Birmingham. One, I think it allows us to continue to upgrade our bridges. Believe it or not, yes, we know there's no water in the city, but we have many bridges based on that same railroad system I spoke to earlier. Many of these bridges for a city that was founded in 1871 are very old and need some form of upgrade. That upgrading doesn't work with local tax dollars alone. And so an example, this bill puts us in a very good position to upgrade some of our bridges. In addition to that, the infrastructure package is a once-in-a-lifetime generation investment to upgrade and expand our public transit options. We know here in Birmingham, our public transportation option has only been buses with the BJCPA, but there's an opportunity that we've now done our local homework to make sure our citizens who cannot afford their own vehicle, who want to use public transportation as an option, can get from point A to B on time, can get to their job on time, can get to their doctor's appointment on time, can get to school on time. In addition to that, this infrastructure package creates potential unprecedented investment in our stormwater and sewer infrastructure, addressing flooding issues due to an aging system. Now, many of you all, as you know, continue to report on some of the flooding issues we've had due to the extensive amount of rain pouring into our city. I think we all know, based on the creeks that exist here, based on many other things that exist, unfortunately, we've had our share of flooding issues. I think, again, this puts us in a position to address those issues. So, again, started with giving you a historical perspective. I brought it home to what this bill means for Birmingham. That's $6 million. $6 billion, right? Not in. Let me correct that. It's a B. $6 billion to the state of Alabama. And there's one person to thank within our local delegation as far as our state, and that is coming from Terry Sewell, who I had a chance to spend some time with at the White House yesterday. I just want to take the time to love on her, acknowledge her, cheer for her, and celebrate her for really understanding what this infrastructure bill means, not only to the 7th Congressional District, but for all Alabamians. And last time I checked, everybody, roads are not Republican or Democrat, bridges are not Republican or Democrat, our sewer water infrastructure is not Republican or Democrat. This is something that probably should have been passed a long time ago. But I am grateful for her leadership. I'm very grateful to President Biden, Vice President Harris' leadership, and all of Congress and senators for getting this done, because this is a game changer for Birmingham, for Alabama, and our country. And there are many more things in this act that I haven't even had a chance to expound on. But I wanted to share that with you and then open up for any questions you have.
Those three things you mentioned, are those your top three priorities?
You know, as it relates to our city's infrastructure, I'll be honest with you, everything's top in first place. I mean, we have some very crumbling infrastructure. But this bill points to those three, not only as examples, but things we need to prioritize and make happen. So yes.
You may have to lean on Mr. Fowler for this question. I don't know, but the you mentioned bridges, and there are some bridges in Birmingham that need upgrading.
Right.
And I forget, James, if it's the 21st and 22nd Street bridges, the two big bridges that go over the railroad tracks that are in dire shape. How will this funding, when it does come to Birmingham, help expedite replacing those two big bridges?
Well, I will, if James wants to expound on what I'm going to say, those bridges have a significant amount of life on them. And either repair or new bridges needed. I think we are at a point where if it's just depending on city tax dollars, that's cost prohibitive. And if you want to bring in the state, I think we can eventually work something out. Getting federal assistance expedites that, speeds that process up of being in a position to get the funding in place, city, state, and federal dollars to upgrade those bridges. James, do I need to share anything else? Come on.
Sorry, James.
James.
Yeah, hi. Again, my name is James Fowler. I serve as the director of the city's Department of Transportation. And I just want to echo what the mayor said. So really almost everything is tied to first place. I would say in general, probably the mantra that we want to maintain here locally is one that's been used nationally, which is fix it first. So we feel an obligation to invest in that existing infrastructure first before we look at expansions or anything new. So bridges certainly fall into that category. And Richard Arrington, 22nd Street are certainly high up there on our list.
One other question for me, Mayor. Walk us through how you were invited to this ceremony yesterday. Obviously, we paid for it, but how your presence will impact the city getting its share of this funding.
You got. Well, let's answer your question first. I received a note from the White House saying that I've been invited to attend this ceremony. Of course, I'm excited. The only person who's probably more excited is my mother. And I was honored to not only get the invite, but I was honored to attend. Being on the White House lawn with our president, our vice president, senators, as well as U.S. House Representatives, our own Congresswoman Terry Sewell, along with governors from around the nation, as well as other mayors. I think we were a part of something that's significant. You know, I brought up 1862 and 1956 on purpose. President Lincoln and President Eisenhower. I want our citizens here in Birmingham to understand the significance of this and how it has not only a national impact but a local impact too. The president mentioned the word possibilities. America's a country of possibilities. I think when it comes to investing in our infrastructure, let's be honest. It doesn't work without big moves like this. This is a big, bold move for America. So to witness that in person, to witness that signing in person, to be invited, it's what I would call humble pie that tastes very good. I think we had another part. This other part.
The funding for the cost of the trip, was it paid for with city money or
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, I was invited in my official capacity. I was invited as Randy Woodfin, invited as mayor, so yes. But believe it or not, it's been a long time since we've traveled. I made note that in person yesterday, I have not, I guess, been in participation with or seeing other mayors in person probably since January of 2020. So coming up almost 2 years since there's been some, official travel. So it's good to, what the young people say, be outside. It's good to represent our city in its capacity. I think that's something that the taxpayers would gladly support in doing their representing them on their behalf.
Mayor, how soon can Birmingham get the money and start working on these projects?
So that's a good question you got, and that's the point I was hoping to make. So I told you earlier, the state of Alabama will have $6 billion will it be coming to the state. Separate from that, the city of Birmingham and other cities across the nation would be able to go out for competitive grants up to the word be billions of men that we can apply for. I believe the city of Birmingham is in a good position. for both categories. I have them day free. The law is not been in existence 24 hours yet. There's a multitude of more information to come. And as that information comes, I think it's important to share it with you, but share it with the public and what it continues to mean for us.
Obviously, we have some clear ideas about infrastructure, what we might want to address. Are there any possible concrete plans for what we might do around transit with the money?
Yeah, James, you want to come up and pontificate?
We bringing back the trolley cars, the streetcar?
Sure, I think that's a great question regarding transit. Certainly, we want to get our existing project built first, so that's a big step for us as a city. I think we still have to digest what's in the bill and understand how that can be allocated. I will stress that we absolutely want to try to fix any of our failing infrastructure first, but certainly we are going to have to grow differently going forward if we want to have a sustainable transportation system, and I think transit is a part of that. We're just going to have to digest where that fits in.
Yes, sir, got good reading. I mean, read good. What else did I say?
You kind of touched on this, but will flooding concerns be addressed with this money as well?
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity, especially on the competitive grant side, for us to be able to go after some of our infrastructure inefficiencies around water sewer. It's an issue.
One more question. Everybody got everything? I think you warmed up.
Thank y'all so much.
Any thoughts on all the crime over the weekend? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so, again, spending time with several mayors across the country yesterday, we had a chance to, outside of celebrating this moment, this infrastructure bill that it means to our individual municipalities and the cities we govern, we had a chance to talk about something that we're all facing, something that we've all been facing, which is the continuation of gun violence. In all of our cities, it's a public health crisis. Now, many of us have not declared a public health crisis. I declared a public health crisis back in 19. As I've shared with them, and I've shared with you, I've shared with our citizens and our residents, that gun violence was a public health crisis prior to the coronavirus. During the coronavirus, it remained a public health crisis. And as numbers continue to decline, gun violence is still a public health crisis in our city. But I don't want to, I guess, talk too much about public health crisis. I want to speak more to, come on in, Cap. I want to speak more to the grieving mother who called me last week that had a gap in funding to bury her son. I want to speak more to a grieving auntie who was a part of the court hearing last week for someone who killed her nephew. This is still a human life issue. It has a human toll on our community, including families, others, children, grandparents, others, friends who lost a loved one, something. A lot of these things that I think will be avoided. The month of November, we are 16 days into this month. We've already had 5 homicides in 16 days. But I am reminded for over a 30-day window of 2020, we had 10 homicides. And again, I get philosophical about it being a health crisis, and I dive too deep in the numbers comparing. At a certain point, taking out my mayor hat, just being a citizen of the city, do we have enough will to talk about this and address it in a way that's holistic? I can give you many resources around conflict resolution for our next generation. And I plan to do that and continue to do that. I can talk about how toll this is taking that I've just described on families. But at what point is it enough? I think we're past the point of this being enough. This is continuing to rip our community like stripping the community of all those men that spoke to yesterday. And I am hoping that we can continue to address it in the best way we can. At a certain point, if you personally know someone that's in that life, making decisions, making choices that put them in a position to be in jail or be killed on something. We have to engage our community to encourage people to make better decisions.